Out of the legal showdown over a wrongfully deported Salvadoran national. The Trump administration is resisting a Supreme Court order to facilitate the man's return to the U.S., and El Salvador's president refused to send the men back in a White House meeting with President Trump. Senior national correspondent Terry Moran has the story. Good morning, Terry.
Good morning, George. It's a nightmare scenario here. The Trump administration admits it mistakenly deported Kilmar Abrego García to that notorious prison in El Salvador, and now they say the U.S. is powerless to get him back, despite an order upheld by the Supreme Court to bring him home.
This morning, a stunning comment from President Trump caught on a live streaming camera before reporters were in the Oval Office, telling the president of El Salvador he'd like to send American citizens convicted of crimes to prisons in El Salvador.
I said, homegrowns are next. The homegrowns. You got to build about 5 more places. Yeah, that's big. All right. It's not big enough.
Minutes later, with reporters in the room, Trump said he wants Attorney General Pam Bondi to see if the law allows this.
I'd like to include them in the group of people to get them out of the country, but you'll have to be looking at the laws on that.
The president musing that this proposal could help with America's prison population.
I'm all for it because we can do things with the president for less money and have great security. And we have a huge prison population.
And it isn't the first time Trump's threatened to send U.S. citizens to prisons overseas. In February, he said this.
I'm just saying, if we had the legal right to do it, I would do it in a heartbeat.
All this as Kilmar Abrego García, a Salvadoran migrant, husband and father living in Maryland, languishes in that notorious Salvadoran prison, despite a court order that the administration must bring him back to the U.S. The government claims Abrego García is a member of the MS-13 gang, but a federal judge said last week they have offered no evidence to back that up, and he has no criminal record here or in El Salvador. And the Supreme Court last week unanimously ruled that the U.S. government must facilitate Abrego García's return, calling his removal illegal. Trump at first said he'd abide by the Supreme Court's ruling.
If they said to bring him back, I would tell them to bring him back.
Now the administration says their hands are tied.
That's up to El Salvador if they want to return him. That's not up to us.
But in the Oval Office, the president of El Salvador made clear he's got no plans to send Abrego García back to the U.S.
How can I return him to the United States? Like, I smuggle him into the United States, or what do I do? Of course, I'm not going to do it. It's like, I mean, the question is preposterous.
The Democratic leader of the House calling on the courts to use judicial powers to pressure the administration.
The Supreme Court and/or the federal district court actually needs to enforce its order.
Abrego García's lawyer spoke with our Linsey Davis, and he says he personally has worked with the Department of Homeland Security to bring back clients from other countries after winning their cases in court. Quote, he said, "We're not asking anybody to do anything illegal. We're asking them to follow the law." George?
Terry, this is very likely to go back to the Supreme Court absent any evidence that the administration is actually trying to get him back.
Absolutely. And the problem that the Supreme Court has is that they have no enforcement mechanism for the order that the administration is under. They have to count on the president to obey it.
Terry Moran, thanks very much.